Hi everyone. Welcome to our channel. Today we're bringing you something special. An AI story from an AI photo. We will be using the latest artificial intelligence technology to generate a unique story from an image. So sit back, relax and enjoy the story.
As the last of the humans drifted through the endless expanse of space, the reality of their situation began to sink in. They were lost, alone in the void with no hope of rescue. Their supplies were running low and their ship was falling apart. The once mighty vessel that had carried them across the galaxy was now nothing more than a rickety shell, held together by sheer force of will. But the humans refused to give up. They had faced countless challenges before, and they were determined to overcome this one as well. They knew that their survival depended on finding a new home, a place where they could finally rest and rebuild their civilization. So they pressed on, scanning the stars for any sign of a habitable planet. They traveled through solar systems and explored countless worlds, but none of them were suitable for life. As the years passed and their hope began to fade, the humans became desperate. They knew that they couldn't keep drifting through space forever, and that they had to find a way to survive. And then, just when it seemed that all was lost, they stumbled upon a planet that seemed like it could be habitable. It was a rocky, dusty world, but it had the right conditions for life. The humans were overjoyed, and they immediately set to work establishing a settlement. They worked tirelessly, building homes and growing crops, determined to make a new life for themselves on this strange new world. But as they toiled away, they began to notice strange occurrences. Strange noises echoed through the empty streets at night, and they would catch glimpses of shadowy figures lurking in the corners of their vision. And then the accidents started happening. People would disappear, or turn up dead with no explanation. The humans knew that something was wrong, and they began to fear for their lives. But they couldn't just abandon their settlement. They had put too much work into building it, and they refused to let it be taken from them. So they stayed, even as the terror and uncertainty began to consume them. As the years passed, the humans found themselves facing an impossible choice. They could stay on the planet and risk their lives, or they could try to escape back into the vast expanse of space and hope that they could find a safer place. Either way, they knew that their chances of survival were slim. But they were the last of their kind, and they were determined to do whatever it took to keep the flame of humanity burning. As the humans tried to unravel the mystery of the strange occurrences on their new home, they began to uncover a dark secret. The planet was not as lifeless as they had thought, and they were not alone. There were beings living on the planet, creatures that were ancient and powerful. They had been lying dormant for centuries, waiting for the right moment to awaken. And now, with the arrival of the humans, that moment had come. The creatures began to reveal themselves, showing the humans their true forms. They were massive, towering monstrosities with twisted, otherworldly bodies. They had been watching the humans, studying them, and they had waited patiently for the right moment to strike. The humans were terrified, but they knew that they had to fight back. They had come too far, and they had sacrificed too much to just give up now. So they gathered their weapons and prepared for battle, determined to defend their new home at any cost. The battle raged on for days, the humans fighting for their very survival against the monstrous beings. It was a brutal, bloody conflict, and both sides suffered heavy casualties. In the end, the humans emerged victorious. They had managed to drive the creatures back and secure their settlement, but at a great cost. They were battered and broken, their numbers greatly diminished. But they had survived, and that was all that mattered. They had found a new home, a place where they could live and thrive. And as they tended to their wounds and mourned their fallen, they knew that they had earned it. They had fought for it, and they had won it. The last of the humans had finally found a place to call home, and they were determined to defend it with their lives. They were the survivors, the ones who had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. And they knew that as long as they stood together, they could overcome any challenge that came their way. As the humans settled into their new home, they began to notice strange changes happening within their own bodies. At first, they were subtle, almost unnoticeable. But as time passed, the changes became more and more pronounced. Some of the humans developed heightened senses, able to see and hear things that were beyond the capabilities of normal humans. Others became stronger, their muscles bulging with unnatural power. But the most disturbing changes were the ones that affected the humans' minds. They began to experience strange, otherworldly thoughts, as if their minds were being invaded by an alien presence. The humans were terrified by these changes, and they didn't know what to do. They had faced so many challenges in their journey to find a new home, but this was something completely different. They had no way to combat the changes happening to their own bodies. As the changes progressed, the humans began to realize that they were no longer human. They were becoming something else, something otherworldly and terrifying. They tried to resist the changes, to hold on to their humanity, but it was no use. The transformation was complete, and they were no longer the same beings they had once been. The last of the humans had become something new, something that was both familiar and strange. They were creatures of the void, creatures of the darkness, forever changed by their journey through the stars. And as they looked out at the world, they knew that they could never go back to the way things were. They were the last of their kind, and they were now something else entirely. They were the creatures of the void, lost in the endless expanse of space, forever wandering the stars in search of a new home.